Hello. Today we are talking about my story and certain things that I went through. I know a lot of people know about therapy in general. Like, we all know about therapy, right? But do we know about controversial therapies related to reactive attachment disorder? Probably not so much. So, we are talking about controversial therapies that I went through. Personally. And first, I want to talk a little bit about what we're going to be talking about. These therapies were for reactive attachment disorder, and they were called attachment therapies. I want to make it clear that attachment parenting is not what is being purported for newborns, where you keep them super close, but instead a form of coercive control used by parents. Accepted non-controversial therapy interventions are focused on parent therapies that are accepted are based on parent-child interventions and basically creating trust over time. The therapies we're going to talk about today are not that at all, as you will come to see. And children who are deprived or traumatized. Many of these conceptualizations include a central focus on the concept of suppressed rage to explain children's behavior. The rage theory appears to be rooted and almost exclusively in clinical observation rather than in science or traditional attachment theory. It is not considered well supported by most attachment researchers. In contrast to traditional attachment theory, the theory of attachment described by controversial attachment therapies is that young children who experience adversity, including maltreatment, loss, separation, adoption, frequent changes in childcare, colic, or even frequent ear infections become enraged at a very deep and primitive level. As a result, these children are conjectured to lack an ability to attach or be genuinely affectionate with others. Suppressed or unconscious rage is theorized to prevent the child from forming bonds with caregivers and leads to behavioral problems when the rage erupts into unchecked aggression. Children are described as failing to develop a conscience and as not trusting others. They are said to seek control rather than closeness, resist the authority of caregivers, and engage in endless power struggles. From this perspective, children are described as having attachment problems, are seen as highly manipulative in their social relations, and actively trying to avoid true attachments while simultaneously striving to control adults. Remember that attachment disorder, reactive attachment disorder, is usually diagnosed under the age of 5. So these children don't even know who they are. How are they going to try to control adults and have the wherewithal to have a thought process of, like, I'm going to control adults? Like, how? Avoid true attachments while simultaneously striving to control adults and others around them through manipulation and superficial sociability. So anytime they are social, it doesn't matter, it's fake. Children described as having attachment problems are alleged by proponents of the controversial therapies to be at risk for becoming psychopaths who will go on to engage in very serious delinquent, criminal, and antisocial behaviors if left untreated. So basically it's saying that if they're not treated the way that controversial therapies think that they should be, or proponents of controversial therapies think that they should be, they're going to go on to be criminals. Basically, this is based on breaking down the child's resistance and becoming basically a battle. It's supposed to be a battle with your children, apparently. Like, it's not about building a relationship with them. Oh, no, not that. Couldn't be that. Has to be a battle. It has to be you winning. You have to win at everything. Do you see how this might start to tailor to a more narcissistic parent? And now when you think about adoption, it's very much based in parents. Like, a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I adopted for the child, but is that really why they adopted? I don't think so. I think it was for them. Children with RAD who happen to be in communities of people who that are in communities of people who typically support controversial therapies tend to get labeled as rads, rad kids, or radishes, because you know us adoptees, we love to be compared to vegetables. We love it. Currently happening in the world. This article was written in 2011, so this is old stuff as well. Old science, so we know this. So why is it still going on? I don't know. But currently in the world, a senator, I believe it was in North Dakota, but I might be wrong, compared adoptees to a potato bar. You get the potato, which is the human, and all the disabilities, struggles, all the behavior problems, those are just toppings. So if you put the toppings on and you don't like it, you can just return the child, and boom, no problem, you can have a new one. We love that. We love being compared to vegetables, so it's okay. I'm a potato, guys. Don't you want to get into your potato bar? Moving on. Moving on.